Well, thank you so much. 24 years of democracy, Abia has remained in PDP. There have been concerted effort by some of our brothers who wanted to upstage PDP in the past, but they couldn't succeed. But there's what we call empire come, empire go.
That's right.
There's a time it will come, you can promise yourself to lead the states or lead the country for 1 million years. When God says enough is enough, it will become enough. So there'll be nobody that will be standing against God's decision at this stage.
Indeed.
So far as Abia is concerned. So I was in PDP up to March 30th. All effort I did and all the money that I invested in PDP for 24 years was jettisoned. The agreement we reached that after the South, it will come to the North was jettisoned. Everything was jettisoned. And then I now have to go back to APGA. APGA represents one or many other things. If you Google all the newspapers in Nigeria and everywhere, I am the convener that does all Nigerian political summit. I am the one that organizes World Igbo Summit, 50-year visioning document for Igbo. I remain in Ohaneze as a strategic person in Ohaneze and Igbo. And I am the one that started in Abuja and in the whole country, putting my vehicles and my resources together to go to all the 36 states and preaching about president of Igbo extraction. So when it became obvious to return back to APGA, I returned back to APGA with my whole heart. And knowing that we neither belong about us, APC doesn't care about us, and any other party. And there's no coherence so far as the Igbos are concerned. But I believe that if we come together, all of us under one umbrella as Igbo, we will get a massive support to negotiate power in this country.
Okay, thank you. Now, we read in the press that when you had a meeting with your governor, you know, I don't know how successful when you had sought the support, you know, of Government House for your quest. Said that, well, there are quite a number of excellently qualified people from all areas of Abia State, and that only one person at a time can be governor. I wonder how you read that response that was reported. First of all, if it is accurate, what you read into that.
Well, when I met with him, he's my governor, my friend, whom I have assisted privately and even before he became governor, to make sure he gets to that position. And above all, our former governor asked me to step down for him. And I stepped down on the day of the screening so that he can be, so that the zoning formula that operates in Abia can work effectively when it comes to 2023. So what I did was to now concentrate on my university and invested so much money in his first and second election. And so far as my state is concerned, it is not issue, it is a modest way of explaining that you can call anybody from Abia. None has any forwarding address in Abia. I have a forwarding address. I own a private university here. I have more than 400 young boys and girls from 17 local governments that are schooling in my school on full scholarship. Prior to COVID, I took care of everybody in Abia State, word by word. I took care by supplying rice, COVID medicines, 3 ambulances to the state government to help fight COVID. Everything I've ever done, I want to see a comparison from anybody who has done it in my state. And just recently, a few months now, I have been running medical outreach in 17 local governments and surgery. So they are doing assessment today to commence over 700 persons with surgery in my state. None of them, nobody has that capacity to do it in my state.
Okay.
And I am not any other person than somebody that have served every head of state or president of Nigeria. And I've been a consultant to the federal government in many ministries. I'm a consultant to ECOWAS. I'm a consultant to the UN. I'm a consultant to ADB. I've been due diligence in all those places. So what I do is to keep on carrying myself and using God-given gift to make sure that others benefit from it. I have no other job. And I've told them, and when it comes to issue that has to do with family, God has given me the wonderful blessings. My children are professors of medicine in the US. So I live in the US and I'm here just to impact positive things. November last year, if you go to Channel, you can ask Channel or CNN. The Secretary of State of America, Tony Blinken, visited my innovation hub. The first innovation hub in Africa is owned by me in Abuja. The American Deputy Secretary of State, every country keep coming to whatever I do. And the same thing, I go to Central African Republic, I go to Congo Brazzaville to give my expertise in what I do. I'm a human capital development expert.
Okay,
So
because I was going to ask, Professor,
I
was going to ask what your focus is, because you're so accomplished. I have described you in introducing you as an industrialist and an educationist, but I see that, and you are professor of entrepreneurial studies, but I see that you seem to have a bias for medicine, but you just said earlier there that even some of your children in abroad are professors of medicine in their own right. Any particular, your discipline, your training is entrepreneurial studies. That's where your expertise is. But I can see from what you're saying that it's extending to other areas. So considering the, quite considerable investment in the university, in Gregory University, I was going to ask what your, what your, where your income comes from. Is it from consultancy?
I have a degree on healthcare management. I did my ACCA Part 2 before I started job with the Israeli company.
Okay.
Yes, you'll be surprised. I worked with for IGIC. Alausa Secretariat was built by us. LSTV was built by us. NTA Channel 10. Gateway Hotel Lota, Tussle Market, the abattoir was built by us. Federal Secretary Gariki was built by me as the area manager. Where road safety is now, former foreign affairs, myself. Imo Airport, the same me. Abia State University, the same me. The teaching hospital in Abia, the same me. These experiences must come to be there in my state, Abia. Nobody has this pedigree. If there's this, I worked in this Gulf for 4 years as a marketing manager. The first Barton Air Conditioners.
Dizengoff, that's an Israeli engineering firm, right?
I was the first black DGM. Yes, I was the first black DGM. I did the first fiber optic cable from VGC to Sakatinibu and hooked it into the MDF. That is the phone number that MTEX had. So I have come a long way.
Indeed, indeed, you have. You know, we're considering the you have, and it's not as if you're in your 80s or anything like that. So, relatively speaking, you can be an honorary youth, and you've achieved so very much. But now, when it comes to your beloved people of Abia State, what is the focus that you would hope to make them have? That when you're talking about Gregory Ibe, this is what, I mean, there's a whole plethora of stuff, of advantages that any governor would bring to any state. But is there, can I say, health care delivery seems to be a special interest of yours among others?
$42 for United Nations. I've written my own personal books, about 8 books. I am the director of research and development for Abia Elders Forum. So Abia is something that is a state, 17 local government that I have studied, because I have been in 774 local governments. I have a house in Oshobo. I am working in Ekiti State. I do Ekiti as I speak to you now. World Bank project. I am everywhere you can mention about. But in Abia State, wherever in the past 24 years, the PDP have failed or have whatever effort they've put in, I want to climb on top of them and then provide the much needed development so that we can maintain our #1 position in Abia State.
Okay.
I am not condemning anybody of whatever you've done, but I am coming with the expertise that nobody has ever had, because I have foreign people, I have local people, and I'm using my personal name of owning a university in Abia State. Nobody has an address. Everybody seeking to govern the state can only post, said he has 1 duplex in Abia State. I have a university with 62 courses. I have medical school. So I'm putting my all that God has given to me to bear, to reassure the people of Abia that if it is development, they will get it in full dose.
How about political experience? Because that also must be very important, especially also, and then your associations. I'm sure you'll be the first to tell me that no politician succeeds alone. He must have a team around him that are of like minds. Let's talk a bit about that, your political experience, if you think that is very important to this particular quest.
If I take you back, if I take you a little bit back,
sure.
I want the people that will know what I mean. If I start to say one word now, is all the security men and the wives of, may he so rest in peace, MK Abiola, they will know that I visit the house and I see him early morning by 10 a.m. in his bedroom. And he sends me on an errand, which means I didn't start today. I started very early in life. And for our Baba, President Obasanjo, who called me on phone to come and see him when I started the public service reform of Nigeria. You can go and ask him. He must be listening to this radio. He's my father. He made me, I became consultant on review of second railway master plan. He made me consultant on maritime education. I represent him in the UN on UNTAD. I am education consultant to the ministry, and I revamped the study of sciences in primary schools, secondary schools, and the universities. And as I speak to you, the name of my company is called Skill G. Every university in Nigeria, every polytechnic in Nigeria, every, both state and federal, everything in the engineering is my product. So when you talk about political experience, you will not take me away from it because I have served almost all the presidents. I built Federal Secretary Gariki. So I served IBB.
Okay.
When he was in government.
Okay.
So politically, I have the experience beyond most people. I worked with Tekaiti, may so rest in peace, when I was doing the public service reform. And the Bureau of Public Service Reform was my own personal idea.
Okay.
And I also consulted for the Minister of Agriculture.
Okay. Now, of course, there will be contentions. Talk to me a bit about you're losing at the at the High Court. Talking now about the Federal High Court judgment over the gubernatorial primaries.
2 days after we got a judgment in Umuahia, another High Court in Abuja came with another rerun. These matters are in the court, but just note that this is the High Court, this is another High Court. So which means the case has to move to an appellate court. So there's no, I don't want to go into any content of any matter, but let the appellate court look at these things and then take a decision. But whether I won the primaries, it was fully streamed live, and it is all there in the space for anybody to see. So I have a judgment in Umuahia, another judgment of another High Court in Abuja. Okay. So I am more based here, and the politics is local. So I'm still using the decision of the High Court in Umuahia to go ahead in what I'm doing. But okay, we have appealed, and we're staying the judgment as well.
All right. So why I asked that is that since you are the candidate of APGA, you must be in good standing with the party, but it would appear that there is contention. Otherwise, it is only APGA that could go to court to challenge aspects of the primary. So I want to ask you about relations within the party, because yes, you're determined to get what you must see as your mandate back. But talk to me about relations within the party. Is there any strife that is that could jeopardize this, or these?
As soon as I won the primaries, in the spirit of sportsmanship, I'm a weightlifter by my training. So I went to ask them to join back and let us move our party forward. But as you continue to take the drinks and you continue to talk to them, you see that they are neither APGA member or they are representing somebody to make sure that APGA did not succeed. So I went to them one after another and asked them, let us build APGA. So if anybody tells you he belongs to APGA and is creating trouble for APGA, the person is not really an APGA person. Okay. Rather, he must be playing a role for somebody else. But I wish them well, because all that Abia want now is a total change. And that change, God will give us the change that is required. I don't have any other father, no mother, except Almighty God. Even as we speak now, I am on a quiet moment in order to finish with my father's rites. My father is the king, and this week is the final rite until I finish on Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, condolences on the passing of the great man.
Thank you.
All right then. Now, returning for a moment to politics in Abia itself, I said at the top that it's been ruled by the PDP traditionally. I wonder how much of how formidable an opposition you think they are, if at all, you think of them in those terms. Because how formidable do you think that particular opponent, one of the opponents, the PDP that has been ruling through the electorate in Abia State, that you intend to break the mold? You would break the mold at the at the electorate if it was possible. So how formidable do you think the opposition is?
Well, the opposition. Immediately I came in from the U.S., we were told that all the oppositions were confided in a dustbin of PDP. I said no, that it is not right. People like me with my type of pedigree cannot be in the dustbin that is known all over the world. So I insisted, and I made sure that I replied to the governor for that statement. Whoever that is our opponent to the party must have something to bring to the table. We normally say it every day in management meetings, wherever. If you're interviewing somebody, you said, what are you bringing to the table? What I'm bringing to the table is beyond imagination. I am coming to turn around everywhere. And I have the mandate of people that I don't want to mention. I have released my manifesto to the people of Abia. And I've done it in such a way that no child will be left behind.
Okay.
And no community will be left behind.
What would be the highlights? Very briefly before we go on break. Sorry, Professor. Very briefly before we go on break, what would you consider the top highlights, of the manifesto that you have released to the good people of Abia State?
I've told you no child will be left behind.
Yes.
No community will be left behind.
That is in terms of education, right?
The usual way.
When you say no child, are you talking education or health?
Everywhere, because I am going to do 17 local government general hospitals. And ahead of it, I have started training all the youth of Abia from each local government, 30 of them, in allied and health medicine. So that once I install an MRI or CAT scan or physiotherapy, all the students that I have trained here will man those places so that we can do what I have to do, because I have a master's degree of care management in the US. So managing people's health is critical to me, because only with health that you can have, like, no amount of money you have, if you don't have health, forget it.
Indeed. Okay. At this stage, Prof, we're going to take a break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back, and we'll include your calls at that time as we continue with Professor Gregory Ibe, the candidates of the APGA for the 2023 governorship election. Stay with us, please.
It's not your regular show. It's an online interactive session where we share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. I am Abajide Kolajo Chitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show, Issues with Jide.
There is always more to a story than the scrimmage line. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back. We're having a conversation with Professor Gregory Ibe, who is also the APGA governorship candidate for Abia State in the 2023 election. We have on the phone from Abuja, Toby. Good morning, Mr. Toby. Oh, dear. I hear that we just lost the call just as I was passing it on to you. So it gives us a bit more time to, stay on the subject matter of what the people of Abia already know, because you've issued it to them, the manifesto that you intend to execute.
The new Abia I'm preaching,
yes,
is the new Abia that should stand the test of time. When we go on meetings outside Nigeria, when I was in Rwanda to add my voice to their development, we were not looking at a development of 10 years. We were looking at a development between 75 to 100 years. This is what I'm bringing to Abia.
okay.
We are locked up already. We are locked up. From Abia to Port Harcourt is 5 hours. So which means nobody sells anything again. We are going to make Abia a logistics hub. It is already in our manifesto. We are going to do what no one had ever dreamt of doing, because I have done my work, my research well. That's why I don't want to say more, but the new Abia that we are bringing up is a new Abia that everybody will appreciate God for making the right choice.
Okay, so from what you've just said, I see that long-term planning is a key focus with you. Borrowing from what you said, you contributed to in Rwanda, between 75 to 100 years. Of course, that takes for granted. Go ahead, Prof.
When I go to some West African countries to work, and the president will tell me to go around the regions and meet their people, women, men, civil society organizations, and then look at what I can do to increase the human capital development. I normally spend 1 week or two there. By the time I'll give him the report, he asks me, where do I get the money? I go off my way to EU, bilateral, multilateral organizations, and to the UN to go and ask for money to support a state, a nation. I'm not going to do less. I'm going to do more, because I am known by a lot of world presidents who have met me in one way or the other, and they will help to support Abia.
Okay.
I'm not going to be looking, the new Abia I'm looking for is not where I have to be waiting for money to come from here and there on a monthly basis. There's no road in Abia. There's no trunk A road. You cannot go within Abia without crossing Imo State. So we want to make sure that Abia has its own. Abia has almost 17 stops of railway, and they have removed every railway sleepers on those railways. How much is a railway? How much do we do to get this railway back on track? We will get it done, because when President Obasanjo agreed with me, we brought the owner of the railway between Durban to Tanzania. He's an Israeli rich man. When he came here, the ministry insisted on getting China to come and work. So the man said, give me the railway of Nigeria. Let me build. I will recover my money and leave it back to you guys. Nigerian system refused.
Okay.
President Obasanjo did everything he could. But again, the people keep on suppressing. Have you ever seen a Mr. President that his life action is not felt in every community in Nigeria? That is Obasanjo for you.
Okay, one moment. Let me bring in a caller. Professor, I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Let me bring in a caller. Udezi, did I get that right? Calling in from Umuahia.
Yes, my name is Chikwe Udensi.
Okay, good morning. Please go ahead. You have a question for the professor or a comment to make?
I'm watching the program. It doesn't look as if it is the same program I'm watching.
Could you make yourself clearer? What did you want to say? I didn't get that.
Yes, my name is Chikwe Udensi.
Oh, Udensi.
I'm an aspirant of the APGA in Abia State.
Oh.
And you should know that there is already a resisting judgment against what people are doing right now on TVC. The existing judgment says that Gregory Ibe is not the candidate of the party. If the stop put right, you are doing a wrong thing. He is not the candidate of the party according to the judgment of court. We must have to have an orderly society, and the press must have to help us in having an orderly society. If he is the candidate, let the court decide. As I talk to you right now, he's not the candidate of the party. The party have nullified the process that brought him as a candidate.
Okay.
So we must have to do what is right. And the press must have to help us to do what is right. What the press is doing now is deceiving the public into believing that he is the candidate of the party, when a court of competent jurisdiction have said he's not. In fact, this is what we are experiencing in Abia State. We must have to have an orderly society. The chairman that he parades as the chairman of the party have lost in court. A court in Umuahia, yes, a high court of Umuahia, and also an appeal court have said that his chairman is not the chairman. Somebody else is the chairman. But he is still parading this young man as the chairman of the party in the state. So we must have to have an orderly and organized society, and the press must have to help us.
You know, Mr. Udensi,
is not the candidate of the party right now.
I hear you.
What you are doing is wrong.
Mr. Udensi, thank you very much. It's an invaluable call that you have made, because we have referred to this matter that there is a case in court. He himself alluded to that. And so I'm quite frankly happy, Mr. Udensi, that you called in to lodge your protest that you know, what is happening perhaps shouldn't be happening. But let me ask the professor himself. Professor, what would you respond? You know, I was asking you about the situation within your party, whether or not there was strife that could threaten what is going on.
I'm happy that my brother Chike Udensi called. It's also very interesting. But I want you to look at, listening to his last word. He said, a high court in Umuahia took a decision, and an appeal court, you know, where upheld it. His case is only in Abuja High Court, where he got his judgment. My own is in Umuahia High Court. So
well, I think that is what lawyers refer to as courts of concurrent jurisdiction. So let me just say before going forward, sir, I'll come back to you. So I want you to finish your statement, but I want to say that since Mr. Udensi called in, and he has made the point that he has made, and there is merit to it in the sense that one high court is saying one thing, another high court is saying another. Quite frankly, we're going to be inviting, Mr. Udensi has the right of response. So our producers will get in touch with Mr. Udensi to see. Oh, are you still on the line there?
But yes, I'm still here.
Yes. Okay. So we need to hear from you. This is the way we go on TVC. We need to hear from you in full, just as we are hearing from.
Let me correct the erroneous impression he is giving. I am not a party in the suit in Umuahia, but he is a party in the suit in Abuja. In the suit in Abuja is in Umuahia is on a different matter. The suit in Abuja is on the correct matter. The suit in Abuja, Federal High Court in Abuja.
What is the suit? What is the suit in Abuja about? Is it about the primaries?
It is about the conduct of the primaries.
Okay.
And the use of the wrong delegate list.
Okay. And what is the suit? And what is the suit from your point of view? What is the suit in Abia about?
The decision in Abia is that in Abuja is that he is not the candidate of the party.
That's Abuja. But how about the suit in?
Yeah, in Abuja, the suit in Abia only dismissed the suit. The case in Abia, the suit was dismissed. It was not adjudicated on. It was dismissed.
All right then.
So it was dismissed. But the suit in Abuja gave a judgment that says he is not the candidate. In fact, the judge, Justice Vincent Nyako, said that the process that brought him in is a fraudulent process. And that he ought not to parade himself as the candidate of the party.
Okay.
So you must have to look at this.
Yes, we will.
And his claim of the suit in Umuahia, it was already dismissed.
I want to thank you very much, Mr.
I'm not a particular suit, but the suit in Umuahia gave specific judgment.
So your interest in this, I've got to understand it, Mr. Odenzi. Your interest in this is that you feel that you should be referred to as the APGA candidate in Abia.
No. The truth is that the court said nobody should be referred to as the candidate until the matters are resolved in court.
Okay. And
until a fresh.
And what is since you are not
the matter is resolved on appeal.
Since you are not seeking to be a contestant, what is your own interest, sir? Since you are not seeking to be a contestant, what is your own interest?
I'm a contestant. I'm a contestant. I'm the one who won the primaries.
That's what I said now, and you said no. So I didn't hear you properly. So you are saying that it is, if anybody is going to be referred to, although nobody, according to what you've just told me, should be referred to as the candidate of APGA in Abia, you said if anybody, it should be you and not Professor Ibe,
yes,
right?
If anybody has to be referred.
Okay, we're going to set it up, Mr. Denzi. We're going to set it up so that you will also have your right of response. We're going to set it up. We'll get back to you, and we'll have your right of response. And but we, for the moment, have the Professor Ibe with us, and we will hear from him. Professor Ibe, thank you very much, Mr. Denzi, for calling in. Professor Ibe, please continue. First of all, I wanted your reaction because, as you can see, it's a frontal, assertion.
My friend and my brother Udensi is getting it totally wrong.
Okay. How?
Because we arrived at the only approved venue for these primaries. And we all addressed all the delegates. All of us addressed all the delegates. He spoke last. I was the first to address all the delegates. And Udesi told me that he wants to go out to a hotel and see what preparation that is being made there, and that he will soon be back. When we started the primary that was streamed live, I called him to come back that we have started. He said, off his phone. The chairman of the party called him. He said he's on his way back. He declared himself while we were on the 4th local government accreditation that he won the election unopposed, 430-something votes. In fact, the grammar they used in conveying that message is that you cannot come and be to win a primary unopposed and nobody withdrew for you. So those things were refuted by our party chairman.
Okay.
And
now Professor, I've got to interrupt you. I beg your pardon. I've got to interrupt you because Mr. George has called in. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
And greetings to your guests online.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, the question I wanted to ask your guest has just been justified by the man that called before me. The question is, APGA is doing well only in one state in the east, in Anambra State. Even in that Anambra State, we are seeing infighting between the chairman of APGA and the governor of Anambra State, both past and present. They're always having issues between the leadership of the party and the governor they elected. And since APGA came, they've not been able to make any inroad to other states in the east, in the southeast. If they have heavyweights like your guest that you are talking to, I want to ask him, why is it that they've not been able to make that headway? But from the call that came in while you were talking to him, the answer came to me that they don't seem to have a synergy. They don't seem to have a strategic unity. So how would they be able to make inroads to the other states in the east?
Okay, Mr. George, I want to thank you very much. Let me quickly bring it back to Prof. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. It couldn't have been a clearer presentation. Ordinarily, you know, I started by saying that it is thought of as a PDP state.
Well, they said politics is quite a tough business. Some people will be seated and will be discussing on what to do to make sure that APGA did not make any headway. All those people who are hanging around and making sure APGA didn't succeed, I strongly believe that they are doing this for the sake of another person, to destabilize APGA from succeeding. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. Nobody has the pedigree that I have. They know it when I appeared to be candidate of APGA to lead Abia. And there's no problem in APGA in any form. People keep creating this trouble in order to destabilize them. But APGA remains one indivisible party that goes on. A party that have built their head office in Abuja. They are building another office in Anambra, and they're ready to repeat it in all the 5 eastern states.
Okay.
A formidable party, going one after another, achieving successes. Every day, some people will be paid to go against them. Well, it is, I will say it is normal with my people. We are businessmen. So anything you see, you take.
Okay, well.
It is not like I live in Lagos. I'm a Baile of Oshodi.
Of a Baile of? You're a Baile of?
Baile of Oshodi, yes.
Of Oshodi. Okay.
So all my children bear Yoruba names as well.
Okay. Now,
so
excellent.
There's nothing anybody can tell me.
Okay, but I still
that I'm back to the east.
We still are going to need to hear and are formally extending an invitation to Mr. Udenzi since this started this way, and thank God Mr. Udenzi happened to be in the country. He called in and is contesting your very right to speak for that particular subject matter candidate. He says that
I'll be most glad.
So exactly. Since today has been your day, we're going to be speaking.
His choice of words.
We have to speak to Mr. Udenzi.
I call him. His choice of words today his choice of words today in the radio in Abia State doesn't befit a friend of mine.
Well, you said he's your friend.
Who comes to my house, whom I go to his house.
Okay, that's the way Mr. Denzi is to you.
If he wants a more dating game, huh?
Were you telling me about the closeness of your relationship to Mr. Denzi? Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, we are friends.
Okay, so
we are friends.
Are you surprised at this interjection from him?
Yes, I am surprised at what insult he's pouring to himself. I will not insult him. He's my senior by age, but
okay.
He should watch all his words.
All right. Okay then, Professor.
Because it is not right.
Godwin is also on the line in Owerri. Let me get Godwin's point of view. Good morning, Godwin.
Hey, good morning, Yori. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, I am calling from DC precisely.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, I've enjoyed the discussion we've been having with Professor Greg Ibe. But going
Gregory
Ibe. Going back, hello?
Gregory Ibe. Yes, we can hear you, but hello? You said George. It's not George, it's Gregory Ibe.
Professor Greg Ibe.
Okay, Greg Ibe, yeah.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that going by the man's background, I think he has all it takes to govern Abia. But it's quite unfortunate that problem is, the problem within the party appears to be affecting his chances. And this is not the best time for any party to have any problem, because elections is 3 months away from now. So I can only advise that they should try as much as possible to resolve whatever issue they have, because they are in opposition. And while they are fighting this battle within the party, the ruling party is making all plans to return itself to power. So I will advise Professor Goigibe to see what he personally, to make sure.
The audio was drifting in and out, but we did get the gist of what you are saying. Professor Greg Ibe,
I got him. You see, this is party. It's a collection of people.
Okay, then.
It's a collection of people of diverse opinions and minds.
Oh, okay, exactly. That's the good.
My PhD is on management. And we say that whatever has led success in any establishment is a decision of one man people buy into.
All right, then. Well,
so I have a decision, I have a vision. I want the people to buy. In politics, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, but we also have to, you will agree, you'll be the first to agree, Professor, that it has to be in tandem with the law. And the way the law now stands, a fellow contestant within your party has said that you don't really have the right to be calling yourself the governorship candidate of APGA. He says he considers himself to, because of the court situation, he wouldn't use
We have filed self-execution.
Okay.
At the appeal court.
All right.
I'm not saying it because he knows himself.
All right then.
So why is he saying what is not right?
Well, I want to thank you very much for at least making the time for us, and it has led where we didn't really know it would have, but then it's interesting to us from a point of view of the news. I want to thank you very much and repeat again. In fact, I want
to book. I want to do my thumbs up for TVC.
Thank you.
For the opportunity for me to speak to them.
Thank you very much.
God bless you guys. I'll be in Lagos anytime soon.
We'll be delighted to have you.
Thank you.
We just would clear all the legal hurdles and then be sure that everybody's on the same page. And in the meantime, Mr. Odenzi, who called in, we hear what you've said. We're extending an invitation to you. The producers will get in touch with you. You indeed deserve a right of reply. This hasn't happened the way it has happened. So thank you very much, Professor Gregory Ibe, and indeed Mr. Odenzi, for calling in on this whole matter. as well as other people that called in. That's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
The World Cup season is here again, and you can almost feel the excitement in the air. The best national teams in the world will be battling it out to determine who lives the coveted FIFA World Cup trophy come December 18th, 2020.